high stakes in this middleweight matchup when Jared Cannonier takes on Derek Brunson. What's going on, everybody? My name is David Hanson, and I'm going to break down this fight for UFC 271 this weekend. Now, this fight has very high stakes in the middleweight division. Now, these are two fighters that are gunning for that shot at the middleweight title, who happens to be fighting in that main event this Saturday night in the pay-per-view. But we're going to go ahead and break down this fight, a very important fight in this middleweight division. It's going to be number 3 versus number 4, and this could very well potentially find out who's next for that title. Is it going to be Jared Cannonier or is it going to be Derek Brunson? Derek Brunson's already fought the champion, so is this going to be his chance to redeem himself? Or is Jared Cannonier going to finally make his way up to fight Israel Adesanya? We will have to see, and let's get breaking it down right now. So Jared Cannonier, 14-5. Derek Brunson, 23-7. Jared Cannonier is 7-5 in his UFC career. Derek Brunson is 14-5 in his UFC career. Derek Brunson has a little bit more experience. He's the underdog in this fight, but that doesn't mean anything. He has, if you see in this picture right here, he doesn't have blonde hair. He's got blonde hair now, and blonde Brunson is a freaking problem. Now let's go ahead and look. You can see here, blonde Brunson has won his last 5 fights. Jared Cannonier, he's 4-1 in his last 5. Both fighters are going to weigh in 185, 186 pounds. Derek Brunson has a 2-inch height advantage at 6'1", over 5'11", and Jared Cannonier has a half an inch reach advantage over Derek Brunson. Pretty even on the stats, on the tail of the tape. Now let's go ahead and get into the records. Let's go ahead and look at the rankings. Like I said, in this middleweight division, Derek Brunson sitting at number 4, Jared Cannonier sitting at number 3. Let's take a look at Jared Cannonier's record first. So he's 14-5. He's got 9 by knockout, 2 by submission, and 3 by decision. Never been submitted in his career. I don't see Derek Brunson being the one to submit him. Maybe ground and pounding him. But let's take a look here. So he has been in 3 different weight classes in his UFC career. He came in as a heavyweight. He moved down to light heavyweight, where he fought the likes of Ion Cutelaba, Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz, Dominic Reyes, a lot of great fighters. Then he moved down to middleweight, and he has been on a tear, knocking out David Branch, knocking out Anderson Silva via leg kicks, knocking out Jack Hermanson. It wasn't until he came upon the former champion Robert Whittaker when he lost by decision, but then came back with a vengeance to beat Kelvin Gastelum by decision in a 5-round affair, have you. So this fight is going to be very important to see if Jared Cannonier can beat Derek Brunson to get his shot at the title. Now let's take a look at Derek Brunson, because Derek Brunson has been in the UFC for a minute. He's kind of like Masvidal in that fact. He's just like fought everybody, everywhere. So let's go ahead and go all the way down here. Making his UFC debut in 2012. Fighting Chris Lieben. He's fought Yoel Romero, Ed Herman, Sam Alvey, Uriah Hall. Lost to Robert Whittaker. Lost to Anderson Silva. Knocked out Lyoto Machida. Lost to Jacare Souza. And then as you can see here, this loss to Israel Adesanya was his last loss. This is when, right before he went on this massive resurgence that he's been on, taking out Elias Theodoro, Ian Heinisch, Edmund Shabazian by TKO, Kevin Holland by decision, and Darren Till by a rear naked choke. This blonde Brunson is a problem. He's been using his wrestling a lot. He's been a lot more patient with his striking. In a lot of these other fights, he would just kind of dive in for the takedowns, kind of use sloppy striking. It wasn't as crisp as he's been now. Now Edmund Shabazian, He's a striker, but he was able to just manage him, take him down. Kevin Holland, he took him down, managed him on the ground, smashed him up in the 5-round fight, have you. You know, Derek Brunson is a problem, and he's been a problem for a while now, and it's gonna take a lot to beat Israel Adesanya. But if Derek Brunson can get past Jared Cannonier, that would be the right fight for Israel Adesanya. I know Israel Adesanya's had a lot of rematches lately, but these guys, they keep going on these resurgences, turning their careers around, and really just, making themselves notable again in the middleweight division. Derek Brunson is in this same category. Okay, like I said, he's fought a lot of people. He's about to get his shot if he can get through Jared Cannonier this weekend. Again, at Israel Adesanya. Let's take a look at some of the stats. Average fight time for Jared Cannonier is 10 minutes. Average fight time for Derek Brunson is 8.5 minutes. Very similar. Like I said, similar height, similar reach, similar weight, obviously. As you can see here, Derek Brunson, he tends to maybe not get hit a little less than Jared Cannonier, but as you can see, their numbers are very accurate. This is going to be a close fight. Now, this is where I'm alarmed. Jared Cannonier's takedown defense is only at a 62%. If Derek Brunson is able to get him down to the floor like he's been able to do in his last few opponents and just use the vicious ground and pound that he has, I feel like Derek Brunson is going to be able to get Jared Cannonier out of there. Now, this is a 3-round fight, and so I don't know if Jared Cannonier is going to be able to get out of there. Jared Cannonier is a tough guy. But I feel like this resurgence that, I know I keep saying this word resurgence, but Derek Brunson, ever since he dyed his hair blonde, he has been on a resurgence. He wants that title shot back. He wants that revenge, or he doesn't. It wasn't for a title before, but he wants that chance to revenge Israel Adesanya. And so, with that being said, I would really, really like to see Jared Cannonier get it done. And he has the possibility to get it done. Jared Cannonier has that one hitter quitter knockout power. Do I think he can knock out Derek Brunson? Yes. Do I think he's going to knock out Derek Brunson? I don't think so. I think Derek Brunson has shown that he is more patient. He's able to avoid the big shots in his last fights, and use his wrestling. He's really used his wrestling in the fights lately, and it has shown and paid off. And so I think if he can use his wrestling, control, ground and pound, I think he'll be able to win this fight by decision, if not maybe a 3rd-round stoppage. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Brunson. I like the fights. This whole fight card for UFC 271 is stacked. I cannot wait for it. Make sure to hit that like. Smash the like a Hamzat smash. Smash it like Khabib would smash it. Smash that subscribe button. And like I said, I can't wait for these fights. I appreciate the likes, appreciate the subscribes. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys very, very soon.